This is Terrence Kyle with MTAC Roofing Systems doing a roof inspection at 3920 Buck Road for Brian McNair. Brian, the first thing I'm looking for up on this roof is basically the overall condition of the shingle, overall condition of the components, and looking for any problems that may lead to water intrusion. I know there's a leak somewhere in that area over there, and I will point that out later on in the video. But first thing I noticed when I got up here, when I was climbing up, is stuff like this. So what happens is wind gets up underneath these and lifts them up and then eventually cracks those shingles. Most of these shingles are damaged right here, and you'll see these are repaired shingles, and you can tell that this was a problem at one point. I also noticed how brittle these shingles are. So on the rear slope is going to be the most protected slope. However, it's going to be the slope that sees the most staining on this slope. And a majority of this roof will be stained just because you have so much tree coverage. It doesn't allow that sunlight to come through. Another thing that I noticed about the shingles is nail pops. So you got that nail pop. I think I've seen one more somewhere over here. Another nail pop right there. And then I noticed how brittle they are, and when they become that brittle, generally you start seeing the fiberglass, and fiberglass is what makes up a shingle. It's what actually reflects the water and makes it roll down the shingle. So once you start seeing the fiberglass, telltale signs that it is getting to the end of its life expectancy. Do I think that this will cause a problem within the next year? I don't think so, but what I would say is generally you will start seeing problems when you start seeing fiberglass showing. Another thing that I noticed is nail pops. So generally these nail pops are just nails that weren't hit all the way into the decking, and what happens is they start pushing up, and eventually it causes the adhesive strip to loosen up. There's another nail pop right here, and you can tell that that one's actually rusted. Now when there's a rusted nail head, means that it's been like that for quite some time. I'd say maybe a year to 2 years. And what happened with this one is the adhesive strip broke, this nail pop made the shingle come up, and now you got wind crease. Shingle right there, same thing right here. There's some up here that look like wind damage. That's wind damage right there. This one looks like it's wind damage, however, it's still sealed. Then I've seen a couple spots right here that were temporarily repaired. There was probably a hole right there, and then I don't know what this is. This looks like flat roof. Something that you would repair a flat roof with, or tape with maybe just some tar. Not sure what that is. Right here, these are wind crease shingles. There's quite a bit of them in a row. One right here, there's a couple right here. And then there's a bunch of them that look like wind damage, right? But they're sealed. There was a couple more over here. And that just basically shows me that the roof is old. It's getting to the end of the life expectancy. And then this is where the problem, I believe, is coming from in the closet. It's either coming from this valley, that little hole right there, but this is definitely a big problem, and this will definitely start rotting out that soffit board. What I'll do today is I'll put a tarp over this and kind of nail it into this piece of wood. Now, I don't know why that piece of wood is there. I believe it's to cover the gutter, kind of work as drip edge or gutter apron, but I will tarp that up just to make sure that no more water comes in. I'll try to keep this under 5 minutes. There is just a hole right here. I don't know if I lift this shingle up, and I'm gonna seal this up as well, but if I lift this shingle up, you can tell that this one little hole has caused this nail to start rusting. Another nail pop. Another nail pop. So as I'm looking at this roof, I'm seeing more and more. Another nail pop right there. So a lot going on up here. Another crucial thing right here. This showing signs of rust. Rust is never good. What I will say is you can see how that thing's lifted up. Now I can push that thing directly down. Generally when that happens, means that water has gotten into that hole right there, and eventually it'll just pull fully out. Same thing going on with this right here. These were never sealed up, so of course you can expect those to pull out. Pipe boots look pretty good. They still are sealed. You can tell that they're still sealed down, nailed down properly. I'm not sure if that's active. but there's another satellite clamp. This pipe boot looks good. These nail heads are exposed. Same thing going on with this right here. It's a little loose, starting to show signs of rust. It's still recoverable. And then this right here. Now this the side that probably doesn't get as much sunlight. And what you see is these things are literally pulling out, starting to dry rot. So, and I know that there's 1x8s as the decking. This is not OSB, these are 1x8s. I could tell from over here. And then of course you got a power mast coming off over here. That's got standard pipe boot around it. If I install any roof, there is a power mast. I always install a zipper boot. Zipper boot just kind of goes around it, clamps in. So now you don't have that line of sealant right there where water could potentially get in. Zipper boot would literally just clamp around it, and we'd squeeze clamps all the way down to the bottom of the zipper boot. And then we'd seal the clamps. But that right there is the inferior way of doing it. Brian, I'll send this video over to you, and then we'll go from there.